because you end up thinking of, when you just say American, maybe a white guy. And even here in Egypt, I say I'm American. They're like, you don't look American, because American to them is maybe white and blonde hair and blue eyes or something like that. I don't know. Without facial hair, probably as well. And that's just not true, because in America we have everything, and we're all American. And we're all living together. So that was very interesting. Now, when I got back to Berlin, it was a day before the New Year's, and it was very interesting. Apparently, it's a big party spot. All the people, practically, it seemed like, were all young people from the United Kingdom, and they were all coming back to, I mean, not coming back, going to Berlin to party for a couple of days and then come back, because it's a big New Year's celebration. And I must say, I had an awesome time in London, and inshallah, I'm definitely going back. I'm really excited about that too. Uh, Now, my dad's uncle, and I just call him my uncle as well, he took me out in Berlin for a really, really, really good breakfast. So it's this Turkish dish. I don't know what it's called. I forgot actually. And it's this very thin bread, and you can put in it meat or veggies and parsley, and you have, I don't know, just all this delicious stuff. And then it's folded over, and it's just like this big, whoops, I can't fit the camera. It's like this big thing like that. It's on this huge plate, and next to it you have three types of sauce. You have your leban, your your yogurt with like mint or parsley or something like that, and then you have muhammara, this like red spicy thing, and then you have your hummus or musabbaha. And it's very interesting. All the Turkish shops I went to always had three sauces. You know, you had your garlic sauce, your the spicy one, and I forgot the last one. It was like just yogurt or something like that. And I had it with some fresh orange juice. I mean, just fresh. It tasted like I was drinking the orange, and it was so delicious. I love Turkish food. I want to learn more about the Turkish culture and the Turkish language, and so I must go there. I must. I am planning, inshallah, in the future to visit Istanbul, what remains of the great structures of the Ottomans, and just to meet the people and find out more about them. New Year's. So New Year's, the guy I was staying with, my dad's cousin, he told me, he's like, don't be alarmed. If you hear noise, that's the Isha Adhan, if you're hearing it right now. If you hear noise late at night, and everywhere I saw that there were these signs, Feuerwerks, and I was wondering, what is that, and maybe Werk meant work, and it does actually mean work, but Feuer means fire, so they were selling fireworks, and this is the one time, I'm used to July 4th and stuff like that. Well, New Year's in Berlin, the sky lights up. I mean, it's surreal, and it's so loud. It's just until at least 3 a.m. and then I just slept, so it's probably going on after that. I can usually sleep. Well, now I can, under many different conditions in terms of noise. I just don't care anymore. So really interesting, and I heard there's big parties in the streets and people join together. I was tired and not feeling like going out, but I wanted to go out just to see what people are doing uh, in this time, to find out more about the events in Berlin. But most of them involve drinking and dancing, which I don't feel comfortable going to. Now, leaving Berlin, we get in the plane and we start moving. Now, before we take off, we wait on the runway for 1 hour and 50 minutes. Believe it or not. The weather was snowing and stuff like that. And this is when I'm leaving Berlin to go to München or Munich to return to Cairo, i.e., Egypt. And so I had a 5 hour layover, and I was thinking 2 hours just to get back to the airport in time. 3 hours, heck, I could just go around, check out the city. Well, that wasn't possible because of that. And I'm just getting used to the late flights and stuff like that. I forgot to say, oh yeah, Ryanair. Ah, man. So they don't assign you seats. And so everybody has to just get together in a big group and rush. And I got pushed. I got more pushed there than I did at the line at Abu Rabi' or Abu Nagi, which are places that sell, food and falafel and food here in Egypt. So the whole concept of there not being a line, well, it's there too, and it's there in different parts. And I'm just laughing because as I travel more, as I meet more people, as I am exposed to these things, everything is just more nuanced, and you look at the little details, and all this general, I mean, they just go away. So it's beautiful. I was just laughing my head off, and everybody thought I was weird because I was just sitting there and laughing. I often do that because of what goes on in my head. Well, that was what's going on. And in retelling it, I would have loved to retell it like there's a movie called Boondock Saints, great movie. And Willem Dafoe, when he's retelling one of the scenes where there was a lot of shooting, he's all sweating and his tie is off, and he's like, "It was a firefight." I mean, that's what I want to say because everyone is just they're all like sitting there near the front, and then I just noticed that there's no seat, and I asked the guy next to me who's I don't know from some other place. And by the way, I'm really digging like I don't know what it is, like South or Eastern European, maybe it's Slavic, but it sounds really cool. All these languages. I don't know the places, but it seems like it's coming from that region. And so he's like, there are no seats, so it's there are no assigned seats. So pretty cool. There was a lady I met on there who was I swear I thought she was English, but she's German. She just speaks English very well, mashallah. Um, and I got to speak to the people in front of me in German, and they didn't even know that I wasn't really German because I was telling them all the little phrases. He dropped his phone. I mean, not all that complex stuff, but I really want to learn that language. It's a beautiful language. So now, when going from München to Cairo, um, the flight was delayed 40 minutes. Very interesting because it was coming late, and that was with Egypt Air. The first one was with Air Berlin or something like that. Now, 3 people spoke to me in German there, meaning that they thought I was German. It means my basic German sounds like maybe like an immigrant or broken German, the few words that I know. And so, and I could get the gist of what they were saying, which was good. And so, that makes me happy. Now, when I went back to Cairo, Germans were asking me for help, which was very cool. Like you have this influenza, sorry, H1N1 or swine flu. I was just saying it in Arabic. Uh, and everyone who enters Egypt has to talk about their health and where they're coming from and all these details. So, what's it called? The Germans went up to me because the guy who was there, the doctor, he was speaking in English to everybody, but he was an Egyptian. He knows Egyptian and Arabic fluently, and so I was translating from English to German for the people there, and I led them to the right way because the guy didn't know German, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. And also at the train station when I went there um, in Cairo to catch the train to Alexandria, and I just almost barely caught the last train of the night, which was good. Um, there was a German family who had been on the same flight from Munich, who came up to me and was asking me, if that was the right time and if they were going to get on the right train because they were also heading toward Alexandria. And so, I spoke to them a little bit in German and stuff like that. And they're like, "We thought you were Egyptian." I was like, "No, ich bin Amerikaner," which means I'm American. And yeah, it was also a really cool experience, really cool experience. Now on the train, I was watching Pay It Forward to finish it up. Very good movie, very touching, and we should apply it to our lives and try to help people without being cheated off. I just find it kind of hard when I'm here and just every few feet there are people asking for help, help, help. You just kind of wonder, when you're exposed to something so much, is it genuine or is it not? And I know that's terrible of me, but I'm becoming desensitized to it because so many people have asked me for help that usually it's just a few people every once in a while, and so you help more. But does that mean that, we shouldn't be helping? I don't think so. It's just, so I have to straighten that out in my mind. But Helen Hunt does not wear proper clothing in that film, for those of you who have seen it, in many of the scenes. So I opened it up and it was just on one of those scenes. So I closed my computer because, I just remembered. Now everyone was staring at me. Perhaps it was because I had a laptop on my lap and I was playing music, but perhaps for another reason. So I changed it to another movie that I could watch because, it literally took like 20 hours from when I left the apartment I was at in Berlin to when I got to my apartment in Alexandria, 20 hours. So I was just exhausted. I just want to relax.